Thanks for joining us. We have NJIT head women's basketball coach Mike Lane and NJIT women's basketball student athlete Aria Myers. Coach, to start off with an opening statement about your team's preparation as you get ready for a new season.
Sure. Well, we're excited for this season. I know most coaches feel that way in mid-October because we've been practicing against ourselves for so long. But we feel like we have a great mix of returners that we can rely on. And then we're really excited about our newcomers. One of the best and deepest recruiting classes we've had. We have a bunch of seniors here that were a big class a few years ago, but I feel like we have the right mix to really compete once again in the America East.
And for you, one of the veterans, of this team, what presence do you bring, to the program in Josh or Kid and the new players, and get ready for the season?
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to bring like a leadership presence to the team. As a senior, I have all the experience that they're looking to get and that they're looking to learn from. So just being able to get on the court, already knowing the sets, knowing the defense, and being able to show them, all right, this is how you do it. This is where you want to get to, showing them through the drills, things like that, has really gotten them to where they need to be quicker.
A reminder, please use the raise hand function if you have a question. Coach, just expand a little bit on what that process is like. You do, like you said, you do have a good mix of returnees and a promising incoming class. How is that blend going and as you get ready for the new season?
Yeah, well, I think one is the challenge of having so many kids who have been here for so long that know it. They can hit the court. They're seniors. They know our system. They know how we play. Obviously, newcomers are going to, grind the gears on that a little bit. But as Aria mentioned, I think our returners and our staff, certainly just the culture of our program has been through the summer and obviously through September here and up through October has been getting these kids up to speed. They're always talking with them. They're teaching them just as much as the staff is teaching them. And so even I know we remarked on it in the summer, we were able to get to 5-on-5 full court play a little bit earlier than when Aria's class was a freshman. And it was just a lot harder back then. And just because we have so many kids, it's in a way, it's a little bit easier for the newcomers to get in. They just have to figure out where they fit instead of back then. It was like, hey, these 5 kids needed to play right away. And there was a lot of pressure on them to perform right away. Where I think these guys see some older kids in front of them. They know how to do it. They're being taught. They're being led. And we've just been able to really actually kind of some synchronicity actually a lot earlier than we ever thought we would get. So hopefully we'll see that on the floor when we start throwing it up for real.
True.
Hey guys, Ari, I had a question coming off the veteran leadership. For yourself, do you find yourself as the loud one, as the quiet one, as the X's and O's one? Is there a specific role within that large group of seniors that you're kind of taking on so far?
Definitely towards the loud one on the team. I like to see myself as someone vocal, someone that my teammates don't have to come up to me and be like, oh, Aria, like, what is this, what it is, because during the game while we're playing, I'm yelling out what I'm doing, what I want the other person to be doing so that they can really learn on the fly like that. And there doesn't have to be like an extra step of, okay, I didn't know what Aria was doing there. Let me go up and talk to her because I want to be talking and saying like what's happening all the time.
I would agree. She's not one of the quiet ones.
Definitely not.
Positive I don't get the pronunciation. Sunil, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Hey, Coach Lane. Hi, Ari. I had a question for you, Coach. Just with the schedule, first 4 out of 5 at home. You're hosting Notre Dame on November 12th, and then it gets difficult in December, 5 straight games on the road. So just wanted to get your take, again, with that opening schedule here coming up in November, Coach Lane. Thanks.
Yep. Great to see you again, Sunil. We're excited. I do think because we are a little bit more of a veteran team, I thought we could make a more difficult schedule. We want that out of conference schedule to certainly prepare us for America East play, but also, post tournament play. And so playing Notre Dame in Miami is a huge challenge. Obviously, two programs who we feel are going to be in the top 20. But that's what those games are about. These are the game. These girls want to play in those types of games. It's going to be great to have Notre Dame here in our home arena and have a big crowd. So it's a wonderful opportunity for us. So we had to jump on that, of course. But obviously the road home mix isn't ideal. But we always say, hey, you got to rise to the situation, and we'll figure it out. It's just the way the schedule worked. There's no design there. I wouldn't say we wanted it to be like that. We didn't want 5 road games in a row, but we feel like they're split up enough that it's not going to feel like a grind. And there's a couple breaks in there. One is a trip to Florida, so that shouldn't feel too bad for them in December. So we're hoping we'll get through it, but not to rely on the cliche, but we just have to take it one game at a time, especially when you're facing a gauntlet like that on the road, which I'm sure our girls will do.
Lazar?
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Last year you guys in the conference went 8-8. Overall, you went 13-16. I think with NJIT, especially the past 2 years, I noticed it's always like you always seem to be at the top, even in non-conference. That just shows how fast you advanced your program. It just seems like somewhere in the middle, like the middle of the season, or that basically like the 3/4, the 75% of the season part. That's where it seems the struggles begin. Um, what do you think? To piggyback off the statement you made earlier, you said now you have players that are a little more seasoned, as opposed to just everybody's going out there and playing. Do you think is that one of the major contributors to help you getting over the hump to the next step?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. We hope we have the solution. One, I think hopefully it's depth, because we're a little bit deeper, because we have this veteran presence, certainly, that hopefully they've been through the wars a little bit more. So they're going to understand what it's like kind of in that late grind of, kind of January turning into February. So again, one, I hope we have the experience to get through that and be aware of it. But two, we hope we have the youth and the depth to be able to go deeper into our bench, that maybe we're not as worn down, and that we can get through, some of those kind of dry spots or kind of the dog days of the schedule. I certainly here at NJIT, there's an academic pressure, and there's an academic challenge and an academic stress. Sometimes this one comes in a little bit stressed on stuff, but that's who we are here. And we have biomedical engineers, we have chemical engineers. I always tout that we have the most engineers on a Division I roster. That's going to have its toll, and that's why we needed to have a deeper team. We can't just rely on 5 or 7 kids to get us through a conference season. So hopefully we'll have some more depth to overcome that challenge.
Okay, cool. And one more question. Sorry to interrupt. With the Notre Dame game, I know you look at just the game ahead of you. How did you pull that off? You got Notre Dame in your building. That's very difficult to do, especially in the conference we're in. How did you pull that off, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, so a couple of things. One, I went to Notre Dame, so I'm an alum.
Okay.
So I at least had somewhat of an in there. The second thing really is that their roster has so many kids from New York and New Jersey. So they have 5 kids from the local area. They were looking for a game in this area. We happened to have the date. Some other schools didn't. And then it just kind of worked out. And I think we were trying to get a game out there. And then they were like, hey, maybe it could work if we come out to you guys. And we were like, yeah, all right. Like we get to host Notre Dame at our arena. So a little bit of luck, but some things kind of definitely clicked into place. And we're just really excited to have a team of that stature coming into the WEC, but also for me personally, obviously a school that I love and have represented my whole life. So it's a real honor to play them. It will be a real fun day.
Cool.
Drew?
Hey, Coach, I was curious about in terms of the America East and the growth of the program, similar to kind of what you were talking about earlier. Fourth year in the conference this year, but really the third full season with the COVID year. What's different? How do you think the program's grown in that time relative to being in the America East?
Yeah, we like to think that obviously when we started, we were the newcomers. We were picked to be on the bottom of the conference. We've at least moved from, kind of the bottom to the middle. And I think this next phase of the program is moving from the middle to the top. This is the time to do it. I think this is the roster that can do that. I think this is the expectation that this roster has. I think these seniors, certainly want to leave a legacy of bringing this program from what they walked into as freshmen to a team that was one of the powers of the America East. I think we have a lot to do to prove that, both to ourselves and to the league, but I think we're in position to be able to make that jump.
Ben?
Ari, as one of the veterans on the team, what do you see as some of the things that your team needs to do this year, to reach those expectations that coach has for you and, make a move deep into those playoffs give yourself a chance to, get to a championship game at the least?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I'd say is that we need to really be able to rely on each other. Like how coach has been saying, we have veterans on this team. We have very close to the same team in terms of people on the floor that we had last year. We have a lot that we are resting on, that we can have trust that, okay, I know what the person next to me is doing, and I can trust that that person is going to be where I need them to be when I need them to be. So just like having that reliance and that togetherness on the court is going to be huge, and just endurance through the season. Like how it was brought up that we have been going through somewhat of a slump mid-season, just getting over that hump and being able to be our best selves and the best team that we can be throughout the entire time that we're playing, the whole season, is really like the standard we're trying to get to.
And maybe just one more follow-up with that. How have the practices been in terms of competitiveness and, having maybe some of the younger players, finding places and where they can step up and really, make their mark and make some plays against some of you older players that like, okay, they're going to be, I got to worry about this person in practice and they're going to be able to help us.
Practice has been competitive for sure. A lot of the older kids we have been commenting on and noticing that, wow, this freshman group, like they know what they're doing. They can play. They're picking up on the plays and the defense, and they're getting right where we need them to be, right when we need them to be. Like there's not really a lag there. They're really able to step in and play the position that we're expecting them to play. And so that obviously looks really, really good for us going into the season, having strength from super senior all the way down to freshman.
Any other questions? All right. Well, thanks, Mike and Aria, for joining us. Good luck as you get ready for the start of your season.
All right. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.